Hey, yo, we locked in. It's due season. It's your boy, Carl Anthony, and welcome to the Man Cave. Today, I want to speak about chasing the bag, getting to the money, finding success. How to get money in these tough times, right? So, everybody makes videos about money and success and things like that. There is no true way to just make money, right? We need to have, skills. Skills is the first thing you need to acquire. Skills. And cause sometimes you may not know what it is you want to do to actually make money. So acquire some skills. What do you like to do? Okay? How do you get good at it? You learn. You pick up a trade, you figure some things out. You get educated. So, like with me, I cut hair. Been cutting hair since I was 14 years old. I learned from eyes, just from watching, literally. I never got taught how to cut or anything like that. I just picked it up. I literally bought clippers one day when I was 14, in high school, and told somebody I can cut, and I started cutting ever since, right? Now, I wasn't always great, but I was pretty good just to start. For some reason, I had like a natural knack for it. Partly because I think my background and I was a good artist. I could draw pretty well. Not I wasn't like one of the greats, but I was a good artist, so I knew about contouring and shapes and things like that. And I just had a keen eye for detail when it comes to stuff like that. And also, I used to be fascinated with cutting hair. Every time I would go to the barbershop, I would literally study the barbers cutting hair. And I would look at what they were doing, how they were doing it, how they faded. And I said, I could do that. I just told myself, I don't know what it was. I was inspired to do it, so I did it. And, I acquired that skill, I honed it, and I just got better and better. And so the more I got into barbering, and I never went to school for it. So I never went to barber school. I suggest you do go to barber school if you want to be a barber. But I never went to barber school, but I became really good. I worked at barbershops, worked at one barbershop at least for over probably a total of 4 years, three or 4 years. And I did learn some things from my boy Eric, who taught me some things about using a razor blade and stuff like that. But mainly, I learned how to cut hair on my own. Now, I didn't have YouTube growing up in high school, like some of you guys now. But now YouTube is a wealth of knowledge and resource, and it has barber tutorials and things like that. And I now look at YouTube videos on cutting hair because what made me stay good in cutting hair was being around other barbers. So when you cut hair in a barbershop, you're kind of competing against everybody. You want to have the best looking cut coming out the shop. So especially when you got new clients in there and they're trying to decide on who to go with and things like that, you want to make sure that your product is always up to par. But when you're cutting by yourself, like I do now, you don't have anyone to fuel that fire of an intensity of being better. So what I do is I look at people like 360 Jeezy, Get Beamed, Chris Bazio, a few other people out here, and I keep my skills up to par by looking at their cuts, learning different techniques, things like that, keeping up with the barber industry and the way it is today. So that's how you get good. You start, and I make a pretty good, I make pretty good money at cutting hair, $35 a haircut. So I get tips, things like that, right? Now, on the flip side, barbering might not be a thing, but what is your thing? If you don't know what your thing is, try some stuff. Just try. Everything doesn't have to be a passion to make money at. I think real estate is something that everybody should do, regardless of whether you're passionate about real estate or not. Every American should be into real estate. If you live in this country, you should be into real estate in some capacity. Now, whether you become an agent or an investor, it's up to you. But real estate is a great way to make some money. Now, college. Everybody's against college. I am not necessarily against college. I went to college, got a degree, but I probably need to waste some time in college because now I work for the city of Chicago and I don't do anything related to my degree. But what I will say about college, if you're lost, if you don't know where you want to go, and you don't know what to do, now I wouldn't say don't go into no debt. If you can get into college off of scholarship, grants, without paying any student loans back, go. If you're still trying to figure out life, because what you can do is, the great thing about college is finding a tribe of people that you can rock with, testing out different majors, just being around different types of people that you've never been around before. Because sometimes in your high school is a bubble. High school is a bubble of the same people you see for 4 years, just like grammar school was the same people you saw for 8 years. High school is a bubble. When you go out into the real world, into college is the start of the real world. It's not the real world, but it's the start. You're starting to see more cultures, different, genders. It's a lot of different things going on in college these days. You get to party, you get to be away from your parents, your first taste of adulthood while still having the structure of school. You're partying, all of that kind of stuff, right? So college can help you find what you want to do. But like I said, once again, do not waste money if you don't have a clue of why you're going to college. Like I said, if you can go to college for free, if you can get, grants, if you get, some kind of way to get to college without having to come out your pocket too much money, then I say go ahead on and do it, because education is key. And if you do find some kind of degree, like if you get into engineering, look at the high-paying jobs. Look at the high-paying jobs of the world. Of course, doctors, lawyers, engineering, computer engineering, mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, things like that, finance, learn about getting into hedge funds and things like that. If you get into those avenues where you can make, high income jobs, that'll be a start of making more money. Now, it may not be something you're passionate about, but if you're passionate about success and getting money, sometimes you can use these. So you can go to school, get a degree, excel in it, get a high-paying job, right? Use that high-paying job as leverage to get to a business that you want to get into. So think about this. If you get into a high-paying job where you're making over 6 figures, and where you're making a good 6-figure income, low 6 figures to mid 6 figures, and you can use that money to be startup money for something that you have passion about. Now, eventually, you can leave that job. Don't start living above your means. Once you start making that money, you don't want to start buying, Hellcats and BMWs and Benzes and, G-Wagons and stuff like that just because you got all this money. You want to live below your means, okay? Live below your means, stack up your bread, and then do what you really want to do, okay? This is the way you leverage the things you're not passionate about to do the things you are passionate about. People are against college wholeheartedly, but trust me, there are some benefits to it. Now, if you're not going to college, start working right away. Don't waste any time. You don't have time to sit around and frolic in your mom's house and just, be a waste of space. You can do things like create a YouTube channel. You can, if you're extroverted enough, you can game. You can do things like that. But the money will not come in right away. You gotta get your subscribers up. You gotta, build your audience. eventually you can make a good living off YouTube, you know, and then eventually you can sell products and live well. But in the meantime, get you a job. Learn how to monetize your own hands for the things that you really want to do. Okay. I know people are like, man, you a sucker if you got a job. No, you're not. You're smart. Because everybody don't just become an entrepreneur out through osmosis. You can't just wake up and just have money. Okay, you can't. It's not real. You do have to find a way to make some money. You know, work your job, stack some money, especially if you're living with your mom and your dad. Stack some money until you can do what you want to do, until you can move, until you can start a business, until you can really acquire wealth in the way you would like to do it. The bottom line is get some skills, get some focus, get some discipline, write some things down, man. Figure out, get a good list of things you're good at. If you don't know what you want to do, get a list of things you're good at. See if you have a common thread and attack. Have a plan and be disciplined and stick to your plan. Delay the gratification of these women and everything else, social media, things like that. Now, if you got social media, if you're not using it to get some bread, and that's what you want, but that's what you want out of life, you're losing, okay? So think about what you're doing, man, and let's get to it. All right, peace.